It was just another busy morning inside Crestfield Bank, people standing in lines, bankers hustling behind glass cubicles, and security watching everyone with suspicious eyes. But when Elias Carter, a sharply dressed black man in a wheelchair, rolled through the entrance, conversations dimmed, and eyes turned cold. The receptionist didn't smile. The teller at the counter, a woman named Melissa, known for her uptight demeanor, squinted with immediate disapproval. "Sir, we don't handle government checks here. You'll need to use the ATM outside," she said without letting him speak. Elias gave a quiet, dignified nod. "I'm here for a scheduled meeting," he replied, pulling out a leather folio. Melissa didn't even glance at it. "Please, don't make this difficult," she snapped. "You're holding up the line." A murmur rippled behind him. Some giggled. Some shook their heads. But what no one knew, what Melissa was moments away from discovering, was that the man she just humiliated was not just any customer. If you believe in justice, hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss a story that matters. He was the man who signed their paychecks. Elias didn't argue. He calmly backed his wheelchair away from the counter, his expression unreadable. But instead of heading for the door like Melissa expected, he turned toward the elevator at the back, the one marked staff only. "Hey! You can't go back there," she yelled, standing halfway over the counter. The security guard stepped forward, hand already on his belt. But Elias didn't flinch. He pulled out a sleek black access card from his pocket and tapped it against the scanner. Beep. Door unlocked. Melissa froze. The guard hesitated. The people in line whispered. Some craned their necks to see where he was going. Upstairs, past frosted glass doors and executive nameplates, Elias rolled into the corner boardroom, where the regional vice president and senior staff were already waiting. "Morning, Mr. Carter," said the VP, standing to greet him. "We didn't expect you through the front today." Elias smiled faintly, the sting of humiliation still fresh. "Thought I'd see how the front desk is doing with first impressions." He turned his chair slightly toward the glass wall that overlooked the lobby below. His eyes locked on Melissa, who was now standing still, staring up, her jaw slightly open. She had just insulted the owner of the building, the chairman of the board, and the man everyone upstairs called Sir. And the real meeting? It was just getting started. Down in the lobby, Melissa's confidence was beginning to unravel. She kept glancing nervously toward the upper floor where Elias had vanished. The security guard leaned in. "You sure about what just happened? That guy had a keycard." Melissa scoffed, trying to mask her doubt. "He probably stole it. Or knows someone upstairs. You don't just let people like him into places like this." But her voice lacked the bite it had before. Then the phone rang. "Melissa, this is Mr. Holbrook in legal. You need to come upstairs. Now." She climbed the stairs with shaky steps, entering the boardroom to find Elias sitting at the head of the table. He was calm, terrifyingly calm, as several board members sat in silence around him. Melissa's face turned pale. "Miss Greer," said Mr. Holbrook sternly, "we have reviewed the incident that just occurred in the lobby. The entire thing was captured on camera, audio and video." She opened her mouth, but Elias raised his hand gently. "No need to explain," he said. "Your assumption said enough." He turned to the board. "You all know my position here. But today, I walked in not as a chairman, but as a black man in a wheelchair. And what I experienced from our own employee was beyond unacceptable. It was humiliating." Silence. Then, he pressed a button, and the lobby footage began to play. Melissa watched herself on the screen, dismissive, rude, and cruel. The room's temperature seemed to drop. "I don't want an apology," Elias continued quietly. "I want this company to ask itself, what if I wasn't the owner? What if I really was just a customer, someone vulnerable, different, disabled? Would I have deserved that treatment anyway?" No one spoke. Because everyone knew the answer. Melissa stood frozen, her mouth dry, as the footage ended. No one moved. Elias slowly turned his wheelchair toward her. His eyes weren't angry, they were disappointed. And that made it worse. I built this company from the ground up, he said softly. And yet, the moment I rolled through the doors without a suit or a title badge, I was treated like a threat. Melissa's voice finally cracked through the tension. I didn't know who you were. Elias nodded. That's the point. He picked up a folder and slid it across the table to HR. We can't afford to have people representing this company who judge others based on appearance, ability, or race. Not in my building. Melissa's face drained of color. You're firing me? No, Elias replied. The company is. The head of HR stood up. Melissa Greer, your actions violate our core ethics policy. You're being placed on immediate leave pending termination review. She turned toward the board, desperate. But no one met her eyes. She wasn't just being removed from the building, she was being removed from a legacy she didn't even understand. The next morning, a new photo appeared in the company's main lobby. It was of Elias, seated proudly in his wheelchair, smiling beside a plaque that read, "Founded on equality. Run with integrity." Employees passed it every day now, reminded not just of who built the company, but what it stood for. Melissa's story spread like wildfire online. Some tried to defend her, but most understood, it was never about knowing who Elias was, it was about respecting what he represented. In a viral interview days later, Elias was asked why he didn't just quietly handle it behind closed doors. He paused, then answered. Because too many people get humiliated silently. I had the power to speak up, so I did. Not just for me, but for everyone who's ever been looked down on for being different. That sentence struck a chord with millions. From that day forward, Elias became more than a CEO. He became a symbol of what true leadership looks like, not from a pedestal, but from a place of empathy, strength, and a chair with wheels. And that building? It still has his name on it. But now, it carries his values too. If this story moved you, subscribe to Equality Unbound. Share this story, and remind the world. True power needs no permission to be seen. It only needs one moment, to be recognized.